Hey everyone, John from Brewers, and I'm back with another beer from my cellar. Today we are doing Stone Imperial Russian Stout. This is a beer that is very easy to get. It's an excellent beer, even when fresh, even though it's a little bit hot. And it's a very, very cellar-worthy beer. I think the oldest one I have in my cellar goes back to 2008, and I have a vertical that I've been working on since then. So today we are doing the 2011, so let's open it up. One of my favorite things about this beer is the color of the beer and the head. It's dark black, you can't see through it, and it's got this nice tan head that looks creamy, and it just looks appetizing. This beer tends to be a little boozy when it's fresh, which is okay because it's a Russian Imperial Stout, and that's just in their nature when they're fresh. So that's kind of what makes them cellar-worthy beers, because you can lay them down and that booze character will eventually dissipate. This one, it's pretty much dissipated. It's there a little bit, but you get more of this dusty cocoa thing. I tend to say a lot, but that's kind of what it is. It's like you get a chocolate smell, but it's like smelling Hershey's cocoa out of the can, if you know what that is or if you've ever tried it. But a little bit of licorice, I guess. It's very, very slight. A little bit of that soy sauce character. Not a whole lot, but you can kind of tell something's there, and it builds the overall aroma in a very nice way. But that dusty cocoa character is the big dominant thing that's happening here, which is awesome because I like a chocolatey smelling stout, so. That is different. That is not good. It tastes infected, which is a possibility. I mean, it's got this sharpness. It's got kind of, there's a little bit of acid on there. It's very kind of tannic, and it's really dry and just kind of, it falls off your palate very quickly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this year, it could be just a bad bottle. I don't know. You don't really get it on the nose at all. It's more the flavor. Yeah, there's something wrong with this. Yeah, it's dry. It's tart, but it's just like, it's like if the roasted malts. It tastes like bad roasted malts, if that's a way to put it. It's roasty, but tart and tannic. Roasty, tart, and tannic, I guess is the best way to put it. So this happens if you have a cellar. I'm not an expert, but I have ran into a few beers that over time have developed some kind of infection. It might take a few years for that infection to manifest itself, but it does happen. So unfortunately, and this isn't a dig on Stone necessarily, I'm sure their sanitation practices are top notch, but sometimes it just happens with individual bottles of beer. So especially when you let them sit for, well, this is from 2011, so for 5 years, it might happen. So unfortunately, this wasn't the best example of Stone Russian Imperial Stout, but I'm keeping the video because it's part of the journey through my cellar. So that's one less beer in my cellar.